harder. Some members of our team are they want to be effective and they want to get stuff done. Sometimes it's important to just let the conversation trail away from this thing that you're meant to be doing. And I find that easier when it's just two of us, because there's no one else putting pressure on going, let's get back to the subject, let's get back to the topic. So recently, Charlotte and I were sitting and we were in Starbucks, which is another thing. We get out of our normal environment. Although Starbucks is becoming our normal environment. So I don't know about going to the office now. Maybe it might be a luxurious thing. So we were at Starbucks and we were sitting and trying to come up with ideas for this thing. And it was for an education portal for one of our corporate clients. They're reworking how they do learning and development within the company. And it's a global company, so whenever we come up with things for global companies, we have to be thinking about diversity. And does this idea translate all over the world? Is this a human insight in general, or is this just a cultural thing that we're picking up on? Which adds a little intricacy of a little complexity. So we're sitting and coming up with ideas, and we were meant to be telling the story of things that are harder than they need to be, because traditionally this learning portal has been more complicated than it needed to be, and now it's being streamlined. So we said, how can we, and we were tasked with making a bunch of 15-second ads that had nothing to do with learning and development, that just would pique people's interest and kind of abrupt the flow of what they see on the internal intranet. Like they get into the office and they scroll and they're in like office mindset. What could we make that would make them feel like they were in Facebook for a second, watching some sort of little viral ad or whatever? So like it has no branding at the front of the things that we ended up making have no branding on them, because we didn't want them to feel like it was a corporate ad. We just wanted them to be like make them sit up and take notes and get excited about this thing that's coming soon. Yeah. So we were going, what things are harder than they need to be? And we were coming up with all the typical stuff. And then I started going through my handbag. I grabbed my handbag and we started talking about other stuff. We got off the subject and we were just talking, and I was trying to find something in my bag, like a pen or a lipstick or whatever. And I don't remember who did it, because that's what happens when you're working collectively, but we came up with the idea of getting people to sit and complete a task using the contents of someone else's handbag. Mm-hmm. And so this person had to like pay for this coffee, or this person had to, charge this drill. And, there was like a man drawer and like handbags, and it turned into this little thing. And that idea of something so simple, find enough change to cover the price of this coffee, made so complicated by the utility of a bag that had loads of different pockets, it was just more complicated than it needed to be. Yeah. That idea just came out of getting off the subject. So sometimes in these meetings, we get off the subject, and that's an important part, because, someone will start talking about a YouTube video that they watched, or, any number of things can happen when the most important thing is to get the brief in your head, to know what you're meant to be saying, know what you're meant to be doing, what are you advertising, or what response from the viewer are you trying to elicit? Mm-hmm. Is that the right word? Get. And, trust yourself that you can use techniques, you can use methods, you can use, ways of doing it. But in the end, if you trust your own sensibilities, then the ideas can come from out of thin air.